Hey everybody, welcome back. Today is Monday. I don't know what day it is, but the weekend just passed and well, I had a pretty fun weekend. I don't know about you guys. I what did I do? Oh, I don't know. I did basically what I do on the weekends, which is like cleaning up around the place and had a little bit of a relaxing Sunday. Mm, but it's Monday today, and I got all of my personal stuff taken care of, and I just wanted to do kind of a quick recording, and I didn't script this or anything like that. Just wanted to get some things off of my mind, get things off of my chest, and I don't know, like I have, Bill Burr, right? The comedian Bill Burr from Boston or whatever. He basically has like a Monday morning podcast, or he used to. Maybe he still does. I don't know, but I've been a fan of his over the years, and I like the fact that he basically just gets on camera and just talks, and or maybe it's not on camera. He basically just talks like an audio podcast. But anyways, I figured hey, maybe I'll try something like that. Try to keep it sort of light, upbeat, a little bit funny today. Um, and I thought maybe for as a theme today, what I talk about is ghosting. Like, when you ghost people, like texting them or calling your friends or whatever, like you don't hear from them again. I thought maybe I'd talk about ghosting because the topic came up as I was talking with my sister recently, and it reminded me of this one particular person I know of who I used to be really good friends with, and she's friends with currently. At least they hang out once in a while. But anyways, he was a good friend of mine, and we stopped kind of hanging out after a while because he got married, and his wife didn't seem to like me that much for for whatever reason. Maybe because we were kind of like we would hang out and drink and stuff like that, and she didn't like that. She didn't like that. Anyways, so and then I moved away from my hometown, so I didn't really talk to him that much very frequently, and we just kind of went our separate ways or separate lives. And so I was kind of like, okay, well, whatever. Maybe it's always fun to plan things, but then when you actually have to make them happen, it's kind of like a different story. You know what I mean? Oh, by the way, I got a new haircut over the weekend. That's what I did. I cut my hair myself because I'm kind of lazy and cheap, and I know how to do it. And it it doesn't look. I don't know. I feel like I'm trying to grow it out on the top, and uh, I don't know, and do it short on the sides, but eventually it's going to get to the point where it's going to be a big mushroom. I don't know what I'm going to do about that, but uh, I've got a I've got a girl that I know that I used to go get my hair done with, and I got in touch with her over the weekend, and she said that she's happy to do it for me. So I might get my hair done by her pretty soon. I don't know what I'm going to do. I used to have my hair longer on top, and uh, it would grow out like to this, and it's kind of like curly and stuff like that. So I was thinking maybe I would try doing something like that again because I've had it pretty short for a while, but I'm getting kind of bored with it. So I want to try something new. So we'll see. I might end up growing my hair out longer. So, anyways, I wanted to talk about ghosting. Just kidding. I'm not going to ghost you guys. But anyway, so it got me thinking about this particular person, and I was kind of like, okay, well, yeah, maybe we'll talk about it. So nobody likes ghosting. Nobody likes getting ghosted, right? Do you care? Does it really bother you that much? For me, I'm like, whatever. You want to ghost me? Sure, that it doesn't matter. I try not to think about it too much. I think when you think about, being ghosted and let it kind of get to you, that's when it sort of makes you kind of like unravel, and it can be kind of difficult to deal with. But I don't know. I mean, probably the best thing to do is just forget about it and just move on. Not even worry about it. Bigger fish to fry. There's other things to do in life, and you know, I kind of figure that when my general rule of thumb is to kind of like work with people who are working with you, and the people that are not working with you, just let them fall by the wayside. Don't even let them take up space in your mental capacity at all, because life is short, and it's important to live a happy life, and you know just kind of go along with the people who are making your life happy, and the people that are not making your life happy, hey, good luck and God bless. Go enjoy doing whatever you want. Don't take it personally. I know that's kind of difficult to do, because you know we we're human beings. We're sentient. We think, we ruminate. We think about all of the different possibilities. We think about what what other people might be thinking, and probably put things in our head that other people are thinking that they don't even think. Maybe they're just busy. Maybe they're just, I don't know. Maybe they're just assholes. Maybe they don't like you. Who gives a fuck? I guess I am letting it bother me a little bit, because I just found out from my sister that she was hanging out with him recently at a party. And don't get it twisted. They were friends. They've been friends. We've all been friends for a long time. And she lives in the same hometown, and they cross paths, and I think she even knows his sister. So, like, they're 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 part of the same kind of social circle. And they both also got divorced as well. And so, like, people who've kind of been through it, they like to hang out together, and they like to kind of, talk shop. And so I don't blame them at all. It doesn't, you know, it doesn't, it doesn't get to me. I guess the point is that I just wanted to kind of let them know, and maybe I'm talking to them right now, or maybe talking to him right now. It doesn't bother me, bro. It doesn't bother me. Like, I get it. Life, our lives are busy. We get we get tied up with in the everyday things in life, and it is what it is. Um, I still love you. We're still buddies. I'm I'm there for you if you ever need me. And if not, no problem. We uh, we had some good times together, and you know what it is? I think it's because we don't listen to the same kind of music. Him and my sister, they listen to the same kind of music, sort of. They're more like on the same in the same kind of genre together, and um, we don't. I think we don't like going to the same kind of parties, and I don't know. Maybe that has something to do with it. Maybe not. But I think that when birds of a feather, right? When you and other people like the same kinds of things, you're more likely to kind of do the same things together. Um, but I guess you know we're kind of competitive in a sense, because we were like in the same kind of work industry, the same kind of job title, and we also worked together a long time ago. He was actually my boss, so to speak. I mean, he basically got me the job, and I I used to, let's just say that I used to have fun. We used to have too much fun together, and it got in the way of me getting some of my work done. And eventually, I stopped working there, because we had kind of a falling out, because I wasn't doing my job as well as I should have been. But so there was a little bit of bad blood there to begin with. But I think we kind of got over it. I mean, maybe not, but oh well, it is what it is. We had a great time together. We had a lot of fun together. I'm sure he still remembers the things that we used to do, and anyways, so I say all of this basically get things off of my chest. How does it affect you? How can you benefit from it? I don't know. Maybe just listening to me get kind of emotional and kind of get go through the mental process of coming to terms or getting a grip with this person who ghosted me, and that he's still hanging out with my sister once in a while, is not the worst thing in the world. At least he still hangs out with her, and they're still having a good relationship, and he's still in the picture, which is kind of cool. And uh, he's still a useful idiot or whatever to my sister. Honestly, and you know what another thing is? Those guys, they drink a lot. I mean, they're party people, they're drinking people, and unfortunately, my sister is still drinking and partying with him, which I wish she wasn't, but what can I do? We all grew up drinking and stuff like that together and having fun. So, there's nothing I can do about that. Let them do their thing. But I stopped drinking, and I stopped, doing that kind of like night clubbing and party scene like a long time ago, I guess about 4 or 5 years ago. So, and I think that I want to say misery loves company. When you're in that kind of scene, you want, I don't know, when it comes to like alcohol and, drinking and addiction, that kind of thing, people like to hang out with other people who are doing the same thing, people who are like, that can enable them. And, somebody like me, I don't do anything for my friends who like to drink, because I kind of, I just don't want to be a part of that anymore, because I know that, it'll affect me and it'll kind of bring me down. And, I just don't want to go back to that place anymore. I've done that, had fun with it, and I'm over it. And I'm just like, I know that I can't be around people who party like that, because I'll just like kind of get into that whole thing myself, and I don't want to do that. Don't want to do that. I don't even know if he knows whether I drink or not. He probably does, but you know, I know that they go out and him and my sister, they go out and they go to events and they party and drink and stuff like that. Anyways, so going back to how this is valuable to you, I don't know. I don't know how it's valuable to you. Maybe maybe it's maybe it's just maybe you can benefit from hearing somebody talk about getting ghosted and not caring about it. And maybe you can take that home with you and say, hey, you know what? I'm the same. Somebody ghosted me, and I'm not going to let it affect me. Maybe you'll talk things through like I am and get things off your chest, and move on and have a better day, have a better life. People these days, we're so bombarded by information and by everything that's going on in our lives. I mean, it's to the point where I have to turn off notifications on my phone. I have to basically turn my phone off and not answer the phone, because otherwise I get caught up having a conversation, trying to think about what I'm going to tell somebody on my text messages, or with an email or whatever it may be. And it's so consuming. And it's no wonder that people ghost each other, because you kind of like, you just want to delay having to deal with something. And it can be really overwhelming. And sometimes you just don't want to think about stuff, because I mean, we all have priorities in life. There's other things that we want to talk about. There's other things that we want to think about and that we need to think about than, what your neighbor texted you, or, what some new person in your life who you don't really care about texted you about, or whatever it may be. So I get it. There's priorities in life. Anyways, so what else? I got I got ghosted a while ago. It's not the biggest deal in the world. Well, what might be kind of funny is that if somebody ghosts you and it's been a long time, just to send them a text message and be like, dude, that's hilarious. Like they were actually texting you. And but then that makes it seem like, you're thinking about them, and you still got something up your ass that you're thinking about. So maybe that's not a great idea. What do you guys do? What do you guys do when people ghost you? Just forget about it? Just ignore it? I'm kind of curious if you have any comments. I'm definitely guilty of it myself. I can only give people so much of my attention when people are having a conversation with me, like on text messages or email, and I feel like I've given them too much of my attention, and they're starting to take advantage of it, then I'll sort of push back and yeah, I'll maybe like not respond so quickly. I might take my time responding because I know that if I respond, they're going to respond right away, and it gets into this kind of like competition of like how quickly you respond to them, and sort of, I don't know, I just sort of let back the reins a little bit, and just kind of give it a little bit of slack because I know that it's getting a little bit too much too it's getting a little bit too back and forth, and I'm like, oh, whoa, gotta slow down a little bit because this is starting to take up a lot of time. And then there's other times I know when people text me, like, if they're, and I can tell that it's late at night, and maybe they're drinking, or maybe they're bored and they're just looking for something to do, or maybe they just want to get something off of their chest, and I don't have time for it. Actually, I don't ignore people when I know that they're trying to honestly get in touch with me and get something off of their chest and they need my support. But when I notice that, the person who's contacting me is drunk, maybe it's Saturday night or Friday night or whatever, and they're clearly not making sense, you know, I definitely don't want to get involved with a long conversation and get wrapped up, and because that can get long and drawn out and kind of messy. So I'll definitely kind of hold back and be like, all right, I'm not getting into this. I'll wait until the next morning. This is what I do. I wait until the next morning, and then I'll text them in the morning because I know that they're hungover, and I'll be like, hey, what's going on, whatever, and then they ghost me because they're not in the mood to talk anymore. So that's kind of funny. So that's one way I kind of handle that. Let's see. Do your family members ever ghost you, or just kind of leave you on red? I think that my family members do that sometimes, but I mean, I don't hold that against them. I know that they're busy doing things, and we eventually get in touch sooner or later. Being left on red is pretty annoying, though. It's nice when you get closure when you're having a conversation, and when somebody just kind of like looks at your message and then just doesn't respond. It's like, ugh, it's annoying. But again, people have busy lives. It's not like you can do anything about it. I just chalk it up to, okay, well, they're tied up. We'll finish the loop eventually in the future. And and then and then it's nasty because then you want to do it back to them, You ever get that? Like, somebody leaves you on red, and then later on you're like, oh, I'm gonna do it right back to them. And it becomes kind of like a battle, you like, and the more that you do it, like the more toxic it gets. Like, if there's like a back and forth, it's kind of like a red leave me on, it's kind of like a war of getting left on red. That's kind of annoying. Let's take a quick temperature check. How do I feel now? I feel better. Do I look better? I think I feel better. So how do I feel now? What did we accomplish? What did we learn? So we learned that ghosting happens in life and there's not much you can do about it. It's not a big deal. Yes, it can be kind of hurtful, and you can try to like figure out what happened, and you can let it kind of take up your emotional space. I think girls handle it probably worse than guys do, um, because girls are, in my experience, they're always trying to like kind of figure out the puzzle pieces, and um, you know, they're, at least I'm thinking in my experiences, the girls that I've known, they have gotten very verbal about like, I can't believe he did that. How can you leave me on red? Meanwhile, guys, and I'm using myself in this example, we sort of we sort of like ignore this kind of stuff, like I have done, and let it kind of build up to the point where we need to go on YouTube and talk to talk to the world about it because it's been bothering us for a while. Uh, guys kind of let things get pent up in our systems, and and then we go, not we, but they go like, take it out on innocent people and go postal and whatnot. So maybe that's why I'm trying to do this, so I don't like uh do something stupid like that. But even my cats ghost me sometimes. I'm like, my cat, one of my cats, damn it. I'm like, I can hear her in the other room, like, screaming and yelling because she wants like some food or something like that. And I'm like, come over here, come in here, come hang out with me. And she's like, no, I'm not doing it. I'm not coming all the way over there. You need to come get me. And I'm like, God damn it. I even get ghosted by my cat sometimes. But I still love her. What are you gonna do? She'll come to me when she needs me, when she really needs me. She just doesn't need me enough. That's the thing. Just wait. When those people come on their hands and knees back to you, they'll come back around. Sometimes if you love somebody, you got to set them free, and if it was meant to be, they're going to come right back to you, right? Sometimes people don't do it on purpose. We get so caught up with our lives and having to do like all this kind of stuff. I'm thinking about all the people that I've accidentally ghosted that I didn't mean to, because that email was sitting in my inbox or whatever, and they're probably thinking, what happened to this fucking guy? Why isn't he getting in touch? And it literally wasn't even my fault. I mean, it was my fault, but I was just too busy. I was just like, I was like, I was off doing whatever I was doing, and I just didn't have time to get back to the person. So my bad, my dudes, but I still love you. I I just got tied up. Life happened. Oh, here's my impression of Bill Burr. Yeah, so I was like, I'm fucking talking to this girl, and she's like, it's like I'm in the car park, and I'm thinking, who the fuck is this person thinking about? All right, I can't do it. I'm terrible with a Boston accent. Okay, so who else ghosted me? My sister ghosts me sometimes, probably because she's sleeping, or because she's busy with her taking care of her kid or whatever she's doing. Not a big deal. Oh, okay. So there's a group of friends that I used to hang out with, because we used to kind of like, you'd be like a drinking social crowd or whatever. And I basically stopped hanging out with them and drinking social circles. And I kind of ghosted them because I didn't want to be part of that whole like drinking scene or whatever. And it's basically because I wanted to be healthier in life, and I was trying not to, because whenever I drink, I want to smoke, and I can't unlink the two, or disconnect the two of them. I just want, anytime I drink, I want to smoke, and you can probably hear it in my voice. Like I have like I can hardly breathe sometimes because because I used to smoke sometimes. And so I just don't want to, I just knew that I never wanted to like, I didn't want to end my life like not being able to breathe. So I've been trying my best to, not smoke. And in order to do that, unfortunately for me, that means taking myself out of any kind of social situation where I'm going to be part of a drinking community, drinking crowd. And so I had to kind of ghost some people in that case. And probably, maybe now that I'm thinking about it, there was things that I used to do or that I do that friend of mine, he didn't want to be part of. And he, maybe because I'm single, maybe because he just doesn't want to hang out with single people anymore because he's married. And sometimes when people are married or they have a partner, they don't want to be hanging out with single people because they their their partner doesn't want them to be hanging out with other people who might be promiscuous or whatever. And so they kind of like get those people out of their lives. So I get it. I might have gotten selectively ghosted because I don't fit in with their dynamic anymore. And likewise, I did the same thing with other people who had a tendency to be like part of a drinking crowd, and I didn't want that to be part of my life and bring me down or get me in trouble anymore. So I stopped. So I get it. To each their own. We kind of slowly drift apart naturally in life sometimes, and nothing wrong with that. People change. It's not the worst thing in the world. So yeah, there was people in my that I used to hang out with a long time ago that were part of a social circle that I used to be part of, that we used to basically drink and stuff like that. People I grew up with, and I kind of just stopped going to those kind of parties with them because I didn't want to hurt myself. Is what it boils down to. Not only that, but they're only the kind of people that we would get together with, like whenever there was kind of a drinking sort of event going on. I'll put it like that. And at other times throughout the year when I would contact just to kind of say hello or whatever, they would be kind of short with me. And it was almost like I was only good for this particular kind of drinking type of event. And whenever I would try to like connect with them on a personal level, they they weren't really available or they were short with me. And so I'm like, all right, well, fuck it. I see where this is going. So I'm only, the way that I figured it was like, I'm only good for like, when we're hanging out together in these kind of drinking events. All right, well, I need something better than that. I need a relationship like I'm having with you right now, where I can communicate with you and you can, communicate with me and tell me all of your deepest thoughts, and we can have like a dialogue, and we can get things off of our chest together. And um, I'm not satisfied with just you know here and there. And uh, so when I noticed that that was happening, I sort of got into this frame of mind where I'm like, you know what, I'm basically just not gonna communicate with people if they're gonna be short and only text me once in a while. I need people in my life who I can literally call on the phone, and they're gonna pick up the phone and we can have a conversation together. And those people that don't have the space, or they don't have the desire to have like, one-on-one time with me, I'm basically just I'm gonna sort of slowly let them fall to the side. And so I kind of did that. And what it boiled down to is that there are a few of people in that crowd that I'm still close with, that I can call on the phone and we can have a conversation with. And I really love it because I know that, those are the people that are important in my life, and they value me. And so I keep them around. And the other ones, I mean, I'm not completely, it's not like I would never contact them again, but I just kind of leave them on my sort of lower priority tier. And I just don't, you know, I don't let it affect me so much. I just know that, they're not, they're not the ones that are going to be there for me, like, and be really close with me. And that's okay, you know? So let me know in the comments what you think, whatever you've got to say. And if you have no comment, it's not a big deal. At least I'm happy I got this off my chest. So with that, I'm going to wrap it up. You guys have a wonderful day. It's nice to hear from you. Peace. Love you.